Hey everyone, and welcome back. Today we're going deep on Ho'oponopono.
Oh, yeah.
You know that Hawaiian thing about being like 100% responsible for everything?
Right.
Kind of a wild idea.
It is.
So we're diving into Joe Vitale's book, Zero Limits.
Okay.
And we've got a whole bunch of stories and testimonials about this Ho'oponopono thing.
Cool.
So the idea is that we're responsible, not just for our own actions, but
Yeah.
like stuff that happens that we think we had nothing to do with.
Yeah, it's a bit of a mind bender.
It is a huge mind bender. So how can we be responsible for everything?
Yeah.
But before we get into how that even works, let's start with a story
Okay.
that just might kind of blow your mind a little bit.
Okay.
Have you heard of Dr. Ihalakala Hugh Len?
The psychologist.
Yeah.
Yeah. The one who healed all those patients.
Healed a ward of criminally insane patients
Yeah.
at the Hawaii State Hospital
Right.
back in the 80s.
Back in the day.
A whole ward of these patients.
Yeah.
And he's supposed to be treating them, but he never actually met with any of them.
Really?
Never directly treated them.
Wow.
But somehow the ward started changing.
So, like, what happened?
Big time. Patients that were like super violent and withdrawn
Yeah.
became calmer. They started engaging more.
Wow.
Some of them were even released.
That's amazing. So how'd he do that?
That's where Ho'oponopono comes in.
Okay. Yeah. So it's like a practice, right?
It's a practice. It comes from Hawaiian tradition,
Right?
and it focuses on repentance, forgiveness,
Okay.
and something called transmutation of energy.
Interesting.
So the thing is, it acknowledges that even the stuff that we think
Yeah.
is caused by other people is somehow connected to us.
Oh, I see.
It's all about taking 100% responsibility.
100% responsibility. Wow.
Not a blame yourself kind of way,
Right.
but like recognizing that everything in our reality
Yeah.
is like a reflection of something inside of us.
Okay, so like looking in a mirror.
Kind of, yeah.
What you see is a part of you, whether you like it or not.
Whether you like it or not.
Mhm.
But how does that heal a ward full of patients that you don't even talk to?
Yeah, how does that work?
Well, that's where this whole idea of shared memories comes in.
Shared memories.
Shared memories. Ho'oponopono says that we're all connected
Oh, okay.
through this field of consciousness.
Okay.
Where memories are shared, they're not just personal.
So you're saying my memories are like intertwined with everybody else's?
That's what they're saying. Like, imagine a universal library
Okay.
where everyone has access to all the same books.
All right.
And some of the books are beautiful,
Yeah.
filled with joy and inspiration,
Mm.
but some are darker,
Oh, no.
filled with pain, trauma, negativity.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
And those darker books are the ones creating problems.
Oh.
So by cleaning up those shared memories in ourselves,
Right.
we create a ripple effect
Okay.
that goes outward, that heals not just us,
Yeah.
but other people too.
Interesting. So like cleaning up my own baggage helps to clean up everybody's baggage.
That's the idea. It's powerful,
It is.
but also maybe a little scary.
Yeah.
So how do we actually do that? How do we clean these memories?
Right. How do we clean these memories?
What's the Ho'oponopono method?
Yeah. What do you do?
What's the trick? Well, it's pretty simple, actually. You repeat the phrase, I love you.
Really? Just, I love you.
That's it.
So like loving myself more.
Well, not exactly. It's not about like pumping yourself up
Okay.
or saying it to someone that's causing problems.
Right.
In Ho'oponopono, you say, I love you to the divine,
To the divine. Okay.
the source of everything.
Okay.
So it's an expression of gratitude, surrender,
Okay.
willingness to let go of the negativity.
Interesting.
Like, hey, divine, I'm ready to release this stuff.
Right.
I'm letting you work through me.
Okay. So it's about creating space for something bigger than yourself.
Exactly. You know, Dr. Hugh Len actually told this story about cleaning a hotel room just by saying, I love you to
Your room.
To the room.
Yeah.
He felt like it had a personality. He even gave it a name.
He named the room.
He named it Sheila.
Yeah.
And after like loving on Sheila,
Okay.
he felt the energy shift.
Wow.
And it ended up being the perfect place for him to have an event.
That's amazing. So you're saying like we can feel those energy shifts in spaces too?
Yeah, I think we all have. You walk into a room and you feel tension or peace right away.
Right. Yeah.
Ho'oponopono says those energies are connected to memories and emotions that have been like imprinted on that space.
Interesting.
It's pretty trippy, huh? So if we're not trying to like set intentions to solve problems,
Right.
what do? Just sit back and let the I love yous do their thing.
That's a good question.
What's the deal?
Yeah.
Well, it's about a shift from intention to inspiration.
Okay.
So instead of trying to force things to happen,
Yeah.
it's about aligning ourselves with the divine flow and letting inspiration guide our actions.
Interesting.
Kind of like surrendering the reins to a higher power,
Yeah.
trusting that we'll be led in the right direction. But how do we know when we're actually getting inspiration
Right. Good question.
versus just like following our own desires?
Yeah. How do you tell?
It can be tricky, right?
It can.
Well, that's where cleaning becomes crucial.
Oh, okay.
The more we clear out the mental and emotional clutter,
Yeah.
the easier it is to tell a difference between our ego's voice
Right.
and the whispers of inspiration.
Like creating a clear channel.
Exactly.
Yeah.
A clear channel for the divine.
Yeah.
And that's where all those amazing stories come in.
Okay.
The ones where people experience like miraculous healings,
Yeah.
financial breakthroughs, their relationships transform,
Incredible.
seemingly out of nowhere.
Out of nowhere.
Joe Vitale's book is full of stories of people that have had remarkable results just by practicing Ho'oponopono.
Wow. So it's like clearing out those blocks. And then amazing things can happen.
Exactly.
Wow.
So we've got 100% responsibility, cleaning shared memories by saying, I love you,
Okay.
being open to inspiration instead of forcing things. It's a pretty big shift,
It is.
but I'm starting to see how it all connects.
Yeah, me too.
But hold on, there's more. We've only just scratched the surface here. We still have to talk about the zero state
Oh, yeah.
and even something called killing the divine.
Killing the divine. Wow. Okay.
Yeah, some pretty mind-bending stuff. But we'll save those juicy bits for the next part of our deep dive. So stick around. It's about to get even more interesting.
I can't wait.
Okay, welcome back. I'm still trying to wrap my head around all this Ho'oponopono stuff.
A lot, right?
It is. It
Yeah.
really is. It's like a whole new language of the soul or something.
Yeah, for sure.
Last time we were talking about how cleaning our memories opens us up to inspiration.
Right.
But honestly, I still have trouble with the idea that we're not really in control. Like, if our conscious minds aren't calling the shots, then who is?
That's a good question. It's something that's been debated for ages, you know?
Yeah, like forever, basically.
But there's some research out there that suggests maybe our conscious minds aren't as powerful as we think.
Really?
Yeah.
Like scientific research.
Yeah.
Tell me more about that.
Okay, so in Zero Limits, Joe Vallejo talks about this book called The User Illusion.
Okay.
It's by a guy named Tor Nora Tranders.
Okay.
And he basically says our conscious minds only process a tiny fraction of all the information that's coming at us all the time.
So we're, like, missing out on most of what's going on.
Pretty much. He compares it to a spotlight in a dark room.
Okay.
You only see what the spotlight's shining on,
Right.
but there's a whole lot more going on in the shadows.
That makes sense. But what about decisions?
Yeah.
We still feel like we're making choices, right?
Well, even that might be more complicated than we think.
Okay.
Vitale talks about these experiments by a neuroscientist, Benjamin Libet,
Oh, yeah, I've heard of him.
and he found that the brain activity associated with a decision actually happens before the person is even aware of making the decision.
Whoa. So you're saying, like, your brains are already making the choices before we even know it?
It seems that way, yeah.
It's like when you suddenly get a craving for something.
Yeah.
You're not, like, consciously thinking, pizza sounds good right now. It just kind of pops into your head.
Right, it just comes out of nowhere.
Maybe it's those subconscious memories
Yeah, it could be.
running the show behind the scenes.
Like those subconscious memories, the ones we share with others.
Okay, yeah.
Ho'oponopono says they're shaping our thoughts, feelings, actions.
In ways we don't even realize.
Right.
So if we're not consciously creating our reality, then what is?
Well, Ho'oponopono points to a higher power,
Okay,
a divine intelligence that's always working behind the scenes.
okay,
And by cleaning our memories,
yeah.
we're stepping out of the way, letting that higher power work through us.
So it's like clearing out the static, so to speak, so we can get a clearer signal.
Exactly.
But doesn't that make us, like, passive? If we're just surrendering to a higher power, then what's our role in all of this?
Well, it's not about being passive. It's
Okay.
about recognizing that our conscious minds are only a small part of the whole picture.
Okay.
We're still responsible for cleaning our own inner space, taking ownership of the memories and beliefs that are creating our reality.
So it's kind of like a balance between surrender and responsibility.
Yeah, it's like a dance.
Okay, I think I'm getting that.
Yeah.
But let's go back to those shared memories for a
Yeah.
second.
Yeah.
That's still kind of blowing my mind. How does Ho'oponopono explain those?
Well, Morna Simeona, she was the one who kind of brought Ho'oponopono into the modern world.
Right.
She believed that we're all interconnected through like a spiritual dimension.
Okay.
And our thoughts and feelings, even our actions, they create these energetic imprints
Okay.
that can be picked up by others. It's kind of like a collective unconscious.
It reminds me of like when you walk into a room and you can just feel the tension,
Yeah.
even if nobody's saying anything. Or, you can just sense what someone's thinking or feeling without them having to say anything.
Right, like you're on the same wavelength.
Yeah, exactly.
So Ho'oponopono is saying those moments are actually glimpses into this interconnected field of consciousness.
Oh, okay.
And when we clean our own memories, we're not just healing ourselves, we're also helping to heal that collective energy field.
So it's like we're all responsible for cleaning up the mental and emotional pollution that we're putting out there.
Exactly.
And here's where it gets really interesting.
Yeah.
When we heal a shared memory within ourselves,
Yeah.
it's healed for everyone who shares that memory.
Wow.
It's like cleaning a virus from the internet. Once it's gone for everyone. So you're saying that by doing this simple I love you practice,
Yeah.
I could be helping to heal people I don't even know.
That's the idea.
That's like radical interconnectedness and compassion.
It is.
And the more people who practice it, the more powerful it becomes.
Right.
It makes you wonder, like, could Ho'oponopono be the answer to some of the world's problems?
Yeah, what if everybody started taking 100% responsibility?
For all the conflicts and the suffering that's happening everywhere.
That's a big question.
It is.
I don't know if Ho'oponopono has all the answers,
Right.
but it definitely offers a different way of looking at things.
Yeah, it does.
Instead of seeing ourselves as separate individuals,
Yeah.
we see that we're all connected
Right?
and that we all have a role to play in creating a more harmonious world.
It's like that butterfly effect,
Yeah,
A small change in one part of the system can ripple out and affect everything.
totally.
What if just cleaning up our own inner space could start a chain reaction of healing?
I love that.
It's a powerful thought, right?
It is.
But let's bring it back down to earth for a minute.
Okay.
Joe Vitale has a whole chapter in his book on attracting wealth.
Right.
How does Ho'oponopono handle that?
Yeah, what about the money?
I wouldn't mind manifesting a little extra cash flow, to be honest.
Well, Ho'oponopono doesn't really focus on manifesting specific amounts of money or stuff like that.
Okay.
It looks at wealth as a natural outcome of being in alignment with the divine flow.
So it's not about chasing money.
No,
It's about aligning our energy with abundance.
exactly. Dr. Hugh Len talks about cleaning our memories and beliefs around money,
Oh.
especially those negative programs that might be blocking us.
Blocking us from receiving abundance.
Yeah.
Remember reading this quote from him. He said, "To open the way for the inflow of divine wealth requires first canceling memories. As long as memories, which are blocks and limitations, are present in the subconscious, they block divinity from giving us our daily bread."
Wow, that's powerful.
Right. It's like cleaning out the clutter in our mental attic so we have space for all the good stuff to come in.
Yeah, I love that analogy.
And remember, cleaning can be lots of things, not just saying, "I love you." It's anything that helps us release negativity and create space for new stuff.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So like cleaning out our closets could be Ho'oponopono.
Maybe.
I can get behind that.
Right.
But it's not just about material wealth, is it?
No, not at all.
Ho'oponopono seems to be about healing in all areas of life,
Absolutely.
including relationships.
Yes, especially relationships.
And it's not about trying to change the other person.
Yeah.
It's about taking 100% responsibility for our own thoughts, feelings, and reactions within that relationship.
Right. It's about looking at yourself.
Exactly. If there's conflict, if things are out of whack, Ho'oponopono says, look inside.
Okay.
See what needs to be healed in you.
Okay, so it's not about blaming the other person.
No.
It's about taking ownership of your own stuff.
Yeah, exactly. And by cleaning up our side of the street, so to speak,
Right.
we can shift the whole dynamic of the relationship.
It's powerful, right?
Yeah, it is. And one of the most powerful tools for healing relationships in Ho'oponopono, you guessed it, is I love you
I love you again.
again. But this time, it's not just to the divine.
How? Okay.
We're also saying it to the other person,
Right.
even if it's just in our minds.
So like sending them love, even if you're not saying it out loud.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Now, this doesn't mean we should stay in toxic relationships
Right.
or condone bad behavior.
Yeah. You still have to protect yourself.
It's about creating space for compassion and understanding,
Okay.
even when things are hard.
I see.
It's like sending love and forgiveness to the parts of ourselves that are judging, blaming, or resisting the other person.
So it's about healing those parts of yourself first.
Yeah, and by doing that, we create an opening for healing and transformation in the relationship.
Okay.
There's a great story in Zero Limits about a woman who used Ho'oponopono to heal her relationship with her husband.
Really?
She'd been frustrated and resentful for years.
Oh.
But after practicing Ho'oponopono, she noticed a huge shift.
Okay.
Her husband started taking more responsibility,
That's great.
and they were able to communicate more openly.
Wow. That's amazing.
It's amazing to see how this single practice can make such a difference.
It is.
But one of the most surprising things about Ho'oponopono is that it can heal not just our present experiences,
Right.
but also our past
Okay.
and even our
Any
future.
kind of future.
Wait, hold on.
How's that possible?
You're telling me we can actually heal the past? Isn't that like water under the bridge?
Well, Ho'oponopono suggests that the past isn't set in stone. Our memories aren't just static records of events.
Okay.
They're actually dynamic energy patterns that still affect us today.
So you're saying like past traumas, regrets,
Yeah.
painful memories that can actually hold us back from being happy and fulfilled in the present.
Exactly. It's like carrying around a backpack full of rocks everywhere you go,
I like that.
weighing you down. But Ho'oponopono gives us a way to let go of that weight.
By cleaning those memories.
Right.
So by healing the past, we create a better foundation for the present and the future.
Right.
Okay, that makes sense. But what about the future?
Yeah, the future.
Can we actually use Ho'oponopono to shape what hasn't happened yet?
Well, Ho'oponopono isn't about predicting the future
Good.
or controlling it.
Right.
It's about aligning ourselves with the divine flow
Okay.
and allowing inspiration to guide our path.
So by cleaning our memories,
Yeah,
we create this space of openness and receptivity
exactly.
where we can receive the best possible outcomes,
Yeah,
even if we don't know what they are yet.
right. You have to trust the process.
So it's not about forcing our desires on the universe.
No,
It's about creating a clear channel for the divine to work through us.
right.
It's about trusting that we're being guided towards our highest good, even if we can't see the whole picture.
It's about faith and surrender.
Right. This all ties back to the zero state, doesn't it?
It does.
Remind me about that again.
Okay, so the zero state is a state of pure potentiality.
Okay.
It's like a blank slate where all possibilities exist.
Oh, I see.
It's where we're most open to divine inspiration.
Okay.
And where limitations cease to exist.
So by reaching the zero state, we're basically freeing ourselves from our past and opening ourselves up to a future full of possibilities.
Exactly. And remember, it's not about achieving like permanent enlightenment or something.
No.
It's about constantly cleaning our memories, returning to that zero state again and again.
So it's an ongoing process.
Right, like mental and emotional hygiene,
Yeah.
keeping our inner space clean.
Okay. I get it. But this is all incredibly fascinating.
It is.
But part of me is still skeptical.
Yeah, I get that.
If Ho'oponopono is so effective, why hasn't it taken over the world?
That's a good question. I think it's because it requires such a big shift in perspective.
Yeah.
It asks us to let go of control, embrace this idea of interconnectedness, and take responsibility for things that we might think are totally outside of our control.
Yeah, that's a lot to ask. It's really humbling.
It is.
It takes a lot of trust to believe that a simple phrase like, I love you,
Yeah.
could be the key to all this healing and transformation.
Right.
But the stories in Zero Limits,
Yeah.
they suggest that this journey, as challenging as it is, can lead to some pretty amazing results.
Absolutely.
But there's one more piece of the puzzle we need to talk about.
Okay, what's that?
This whole idea of killing the divine.
Oh, yeah. That's a big one.
That's the most radical
It is.
and maybe the most misunderstood concept in Ho'oponopono.
For sure.
And honestly, that one kind of freaks me out a little bit.
I get it.
It doesn't exactly sound like the path to enlightenment, does it?
It's definitely provocative.
It is. But we're going to unpack that in the next part of our deep dive. So stick around, because things are about to get really interesting. All right, so we're back and ready to tackle this whole killing the divine thing.
Yeah.
I got to say, that really threw me off when I first read about it.
I can imagine.
Doesn't sound very, spiritual.
It is a very provocative concept.
It is.
Yeah. But like a lot of things in Ho'oponopono, I think you got to look deeper.
Okay, convince me this isn't some kind of heresy.
Right. Remember we were talking about how Ho'oponopono asks us to question our assumptions?
Yeah, like go beyond our limited perception.
Exactly. So in this case, killing the divine isn't about literally harming anything.
No.
It's more about letting go of our limited, ego-driven ideas about what the divine even is.
So we're not actually hurting anything.
Not really, no.
Just our own ideas.
Yeah, our own distorted ideas about the divine.
Oh,
Dr. Hugh Lenz says that our minds, filled with all these memories and beliefs,
yeah.
they create this distorted image of the divine. It's like trying to see the stars through a thick layer of smog. So by killing that distorted image,
Yeah.
we create space for a more pure experience.
So it's like we're clearing out the cobwebs to make room for a bigger, more expansive understanding.
Exactly.
Right.
And this actually aligns with the whole idea of taking 100% responsibility.
Okay.
Because even our perceptions of the divine are
Right.
filtered through our own minds, our own experiences.
So it's like peeling away the layers of an onion to get to the heart of it.
I like that. Yeah, that's a good analogy.
Okay.
And remember, this killing the divine isn't a one-time thing. It's an ongoing practice.
Yeah, like everything else in Ho'oponopono, right?
Right. We're always letting go of our limited beliefs and opening ourselves up to a deeper experience.
So it's about questioning our assumptions,
Yeah.
challenging our beliefs,
Okay.
and surrendering to a wisdom that's bigger than us.
And what's the most powerful tool for that?
Let me guess.
I love you.
I love you. So the same phrase that heals us,
Yeah.
connects us to the divine, is also the key to dismantling our perceptions of it.
Exactly.
How does that even work?
Well, by saying I love you to the divine
Yeah.
over and over again,
Right.
we're dissolving those layers of mental and emotional baggage that are clouding our vision.
It's like a laser beam vaporizing that smog
I like that.
so the light can shine through.
Exactly. The more we clean, the more pure our connection becomes.
Okay, this is a lot to take in,
It is.
but I think I'm starting to get it. Do you have an example, maybe, of what this killing the divine thing might look like in real life?
Yeah, sure. Joe Vitale tells a story about a woman who'd been dealing with health problems for years.
Okay.
She tried everything. Nothing seemed to work.
Oh, wow.
Then she started practicing Ho'oponopono,
Okay.
and she started to experience some real healing.
That's great, but where does the killing the divine come in?
Well, as she kept cleaning, working on her memories and beliefs,
Yeah.
she realized that her whole understanding of health and healing needed to change.
Yeah, okay.
She had to let go of her old ideas, open herself up to a new way of seeing things.
So it wasn't just about physically healing her body.
No.
It was about shifting her perspective on what it meant to be healthy
Right. Releasing her attachment to those old beliefs.
and surrendering to a deeper wisdom.
Exactly. And as she killed those old beliefs, her healing really took off.
So it's like she had to tear down that old structure to build something new and stronger.
Yeah, I like that.
Okay.
And that applies to everything, not just health, relationships, money, whatever.
Right.
Sometimes we have to let go of the old to make room for the new.
Which reminds me, we talked about synchronicity before.
Oh yeah, synchronicity.
It seems like that's a big part of Ho'oponopono too.
It is those meaningful coincidences, like
Right.
they're orchestrated by something bigger.
Yeah, those moments when everything just lines up perfectly.
Mhm.
Like you're thinking someone and then they call you.
Right. Or you suddenly find the answer to a problem that's been bugging you.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
So Ho'oponopono says that by cleaning our memories and aligning with the divine flow,
Right.
we become more tuned in to those synchronicities.
It's like we're dialing into the right frequency.
Yeah. And by paying attention to those synchronicities
Right.
and acting on the opportunities they present,
Yeah.
we can navigate life with more grace, more ease.
It's like we're co-creating with the universe.
I love that, dancing with the divine flow.
Beautiful. It's about recognizing that the universe is always supporting us,
Even when it doesn't seem like it.
even in unexpected ways.
Yeah, Joe Vitale tells this story about how he experienced synchronicity while he was working on a new product.
Okay.
He was stuck waiting for approval.
Oh, that's frustrating.
It was. But during that waiting period, he got inspired to create something completely different.
Okay.
And that took off.
Wow.
And then guess what? The roadblocks for the original product cleared.
Really?
Everything fell into place.
Wow. So sometimes the best way to get what we want is to let go.
It seems that way. Surrender to the flow. Trust in the synchronicity. You never know what blessings might come your way.
It's amazing, isn't it?
So I think we've covered a lot of ground in this deep dive into Ho'oponopono.
We have.
It's been quite a journey. We've explored some pretty radical concepts. 100% responsibility, shared memories, cleaning, inspiration, killing the divine, synchronicity. It's a lot to digest, but I'm walking away with a whole new understanding of what it means to be human and to be connected to something bigger.
Me too.
And remember, The beauty of Ho'oponopono is that it can all be boiled down to one simple practice,
Yeah.
saying, I love you.
It's a powerful phrase.
It is. It heals, it connects, it transforms. It allows us to tap into that infinite power of the divine.
And it's so simple, anyone can do it.
Right. And as we continue to practice Ho'oponopono, I think this simple phrase can become a guiding principle for our lives.
I agree.
Shifting from fear to love,
Yeah.
from separation to connection.
From control to surrender.
Exactly. So as we wrap up this deep dive, I have a question for you to ponder.
Okay.
What if you approached every situation, every relationship, every challenge
Yeah.
with I love you at the forefront of your mind? How might that change your experience of the world?
That's a good question.
It is.
A lot to think about.
It is. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive into Ho'oponopono. Until next time, keep cleaning, keep loving, and keep those minds open to all the possibilities.